It was just one of those lazy afternoons in this little dusty town called Riverton, out on the edge of nowhere in Arizona, the kind where the sun beats down like it's got a grudge, and folks at the corner diner are nursing their coffees like they're the only thing keeping the world spinning. But man, that day flipped everything upside down when this grizzled old vet named Evelyn Hayes walked in, her faded army jacket hanging loose on her frame, patches telling stories nobody ever bothered to ask about. She was barely through the door when Vance Harlan, this local hothead with a chip on his shoulder bigger than the Grand Canyon, spots her and decides today's the day to settle an old score. Turns out Evelyn had testified years back against Vance's family in a land dispute that cost them their ranch, and he's been stewing on that bitterness like bad whiskey, convinced she ruined his life. Evelyn's just there for her usual black coffee, black as her memories from the war, and I'm behind the counter. Lena, that's me, the girl who's worked this joint long enough to know everyone's secrets but keep my mouth shut. She's fumbling for change, hands shaky from age and whatever ghost she's carrying, and I wave her off, on the house. Ev, you've earned it more times than I can count. But Vance, he's lurking by the pie case with his crew of wannabe tough guys, eyes narrowing like he's finally found his target. He saunters over, voice dripping with that fake charm that hides pure venom. Well, look who's still breathing, the snitch who sold out my old man for a pat on the back from Uncle Sam. Bet you feel real heroic now, huh? Hiding behind that jacket like it means something. Evelyn stiffens, her jaw tight, but she doesn't bite. She's seen worse in the trenches, back when she led those covert ops they called Shadow Reapers, pulling folks out of hellholes nobody else dared touch. But Vance, oh, he's not done. The landloss ate at him, turned him mean, made him blame her for every bad break since his crew chuckles low, egging him on, and before anyone can blink, he pulls this rusty switchblade from his boot, lunging at her with a snarl. Time you paid up, old-timer. I didn't think hell, there wasn't time to. I just threw myself between them, the blade catching my shirt, slicing shallow but enough to sting like fire, blood blooming red as the diner goes dead silent, forks clattering, that teenage kid at the booth gasping like he's in a horror flick. Evelyn's eyes go wide, horrified. Lena, why'd you? You fool girl. And Vance freezes, knife still in hand, his face twisting from triumph to something uglier, regret maybe, or just shock that his petty revenge hit the wrong mark. But me? I'm standing there, hand pressed to my side, staring him down. You touch her again, Vance, and you'll wish you'd stayed on that dried-up ranch, my voice steady even as my knees wobble, because deep down, I've always hated bullies like him, the ones who pick on folks who've already given everything. And Evelyn, she's like the grandma I never had, quiet stories over late shifts about missions that saved lives but broke her spirit. That's when it started, this low rumble, like thunder rolling in from the desert, growing louder, shaking the windows until the whole place vibrates. Engines, dozens of Harleys mostly, pulling up in a cloud of dust, 30 riders strong. These road warriors, local biker club with a rep for being outlaws, but folks whisper they've got a code, ties to old vets from way back. They surround the diner, blocking every exit, leather vests patched with skulls and eagles, and leading him is Jax Thorne, this bear of a man with a beard like steel wool and eyes that could cut glass. He kicks open the door, voice booming but calm. What the hell's going on here? Got a call about some coward waving steel at one of our own. Vance pales, his blade clattering to the floor as his crew backs up, muttering excuses. It was just talk. Jax, she jumped in, made it look bad, but Jax ain't buying it. He glances at Evelyn, something flickering in his eyes, recognition maybe, and she nods subtle, like an old signal. Turns out, Evelyn wasn't just any vet back in Nam. Her Shadow Reapers unit had bailed out Jax's old man's club during a smuggling mess gone wrong, foreign agents trying to choke off supply lines, and those bikers swore a blood oath. Call, and we'd come. Word got out fast, that kid with his phone live streaming the whole mess, and here they were, 15 minutes flat, engine still hot. Jax turns to Vance, voice dropping low, menacing. You think swinging at a woman who pulled brothers out of the fire makes you tough? Nah, that makes you a stain we're about to wipe clean. The cops show up then, lights flashing, but they hesitate, knowing one wrong move, and this turns into a standoff nobody wins. Evelyn speaks up, voice cracking but fierce. This girl's blood is on his hands because of me. But I won't let it be for nothing he came for revenge over dirt that wasn't his to claim, and now look what he's stirred. Me? I'm leaning on the counter, pain throbbing, but feeling this surge like I stepped into something bigger, a legacy I never asked for but can't turn from. The bikers don't rush, they just close in, disarming Vance with a twist that makes him yelp, pinning him as the crowd outside cheers. Phones up, turning this into viral justice. Jax nods to the cops, take him, but make sure he pays for the land he lost fair and square, and for thinking he could rewrite history with a blade. They cuff him, haul him out kicking and pleading, I didn't mean. It was her fault, but nobody's listening. The roar of engines drowning him out as the warriors rev in unison, a thunderous salute. Evelyn pulls me aside later, hand on my arm. You didn't know, Lena, but you just became family. Shadow Reapers don't forget, and neither do these boys. The town's buzzing now, divided. Some call it vigilante chaos. Others say it's the justice the system forgot, especially with HOA types like Vance's kin still pulling strings on land deals. Man, it changed me from pouring coffees to carrying this weight, wondering if loyalty like that heals or just brews more storms. What do you think? Was it right for the bikers to step in, or should the law have handled it alone? Drop a comment, share your take on community grudges and real justice. And if this hit home, smash that subscribe. You never know when your story might need telling.